Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the British Spitfire Mk Ia sitting at 2.7 battle rating. Now I told you not too long ago when we reviewed the 2B that I wanted to look at more Spitfires. So here is another Spitfire, one of the early ones, and it is also a beauty, but he overheats just like the 2B in excessive fashion. Without Mk, that is, for the Mk users among us. I have heard that even with Mk it still overheats a bit, but it might be a little less than without Mk. Anyway, the maximum speed in this plane at sea level without WEP is 450 kilometers an hour and with WEP 498. At 4500 meters this is 430 without WEP and 465 with WEP. And finally at 6500 meters she can go up to 399 without WEP and 403 with WEP. Now as you see at the higher altitude, 6500 meters, the WEP almost makes no difference in speed anymore. At mid to low altitude the WEP is quite powerful and makes a huge difference in performance. So this plane is indeed best at mid to low altitude, and at the higher altitudes the advantage goes away a little bit. The top speed in a dive for this plane is 722 before she redlines and 790 before she rips apart. It is quite nice, although that is not the effective dive speed unfortunately. As you know, the Spitfires do not have excelling roll rate. A roll rate in this plane is above average to decent, and in a dive the control stiffening starts at around 450 kilometers an hour. It's already quite noticeable there, and then another big hit to the roll rate comes at 600 kilometers an hour, where it becomes really severely stiffened up, and it becomes problematic to get your guns on target, and also if you get too close to the ground to roll into a fashion in which you can avoid the ground. The elevator does stay functional though, even at 600, so you can easily pull out of a dive there. But with the roll rate, if your angle is inversed, you gotta make sure that you roll out quickly before you hit the ground. And quickly is not possible anymore at 600 kilometers an hour, so be aware of that. The stall speed in the plane is quite good with 155. Firepower in the plane is good. The plane runs with 8 7.7mm Browning machine guns with 350 rounds per gun. I used stealth belt for this match and a 600 meter convergence. The ammo load is very good with 350 rounds. There is no cannon shells with 60 rounds or something to compensate like on the 2B, so you only have the 350 rounds on all guns, and that is very good. Acceleration in the plane in a straight line is good, and in a dive it's excellent. The energy retention in the horizontal is very good, and in the vertical it's decent. This is mainly caused by this. The engine died because of the I can't speak out that the carburetor is that all right? I'm sure you tell me. Anyway, that thing dies off and your engine has less power momentarily. It does recover quite quickly though, but still if you have that in the vertical, and it can happen quite quickly, then you are in trouble and you will lose speed, especially compared to planes who don't have this problem. So there is that. I'm in a 1 versus 3 here, but this is the number 3, so we're gonna make it into a 1 versus 2. The climb rate in the plane is very good, but the overheating makes it troublesome because you often have to fly at 90%, not to cook the engine already before you even get to the battle, let's say. Climbing at WEP is not possible. Climbing at 100% all the time will even overheat the engine, so you gotta mix it up a little bit. Start with WEP and then quickly start to alternate between 100% and 91, and that way you can get up to altitude with the same speed as a 109 if you're lucky, but sometimes the 109s are above you more often than not. The turn time in the plane is excellent, with flaps even better, but flaps do rip off at 280 kilometers an hour, so they're extremely sensitive. Like with the early and mid spits, even some late spits have this problem with flaps that rip off at quite low speeds, so being less functional for you know, effective combat use. You can't, oh here we already passed 280, so you know, you'll lose them in no time. The roll rate is, like I said, above average to decent. It is not fantastic, and while rolling, and especially in a dive, it can quickly stiffen up that roll rate. Maneuverability overall is great though, with the turn time being so good, and at the right speeds you can have decent roll as well, and that combination is pretty good. Overheating is atrocious, I have to say. Like with the 2B, it overheats quickly, it is difficult to cool down, and you'll need constant management of it. You need to, you know, basically fly at 90%, and when planes come within a 5 kilometer radius and you view them, you gotta get your throttle up to 100%, picking up speed, and then go into the engagement and hope the engagement doesn't last too long and you have a little bit of rest in between, because the engagement will probably overheat the plane. Durability in the plane is decent, it can take a hit or two. This plane is an energy fighter slash turn fighter, and it is excellently suited to both of those roles. Although the vertical behavior with the carburetor knocking out sometimes, because you getting into an inverted position of the engine, that is problematic, and it will sometimes really hamper you in dogfights, losing you extra speed in the vertical, and that is absolutely one of the small Achilles heels. It won't make a difference against most pilots, because, well, I mean, if you're a good pilot, I was talking from my own perspective there, but I do realize I'm quite a bit above average in performance. But if you are going up against a pilot of equal skill, it will make a huge difference that this carburetor knocks the engine out now and then. And like I said, it does recover quickly, but it is a downside compared to an E3 or something that does not have this problem, and will keep its energy up much better than you in the vertical. So yeah, you gotta be careful there. But all in all, it's quite an enjoyable aircraft, I have to say. The dogfighting in this plane is superb. You are an absolute competitor in this plane. Better than most things you will face, actually. And well, that's a joy to fly as always. But when you get into situations like this, where you have an energy fighter slash boom and zoomer above you, which has the clear energy advantage, you got to stay sharp, you got to keep your eyes on him, and you have to make the right decisions. You have to respond quickly, and you just gotta wait until the moment he makes a mistake, and you will have an opportunity to zoom after him. This you know, asks of you that you keep your speed decently high and you keep a good eye on him. I've said this before, but one of the most important things in dogfighting is the camera work, and you having a good view on your opponent in any angle, so that you can respond to what he's doing, because when he finally does make the mistake, you gotta be in the situation where you are able to make use of it. And if you're not, you miss the opportunity, and he will have chances to reset again. Here goes my carburetor again. And when you're in a slight dive, again, it doesn't matter a whole lot, but of course with engine you pick up more speed than without engine, so we'll lose a couple of kilometers there, we'll lose a little bit of energy, and if you have that often enough, then well, you can lose the fight. Here we go. He stayed too close this time. That was his mistake. He went up too steep, lost too much speed. He should have leveled it out a little bit, extend first. But yeah, that will eventually happen in most dogfights against when you're in a turn fighter. which this plane can also energy fight of course, but the E3 in a clear energy advantage, and you gotta wait until he makes a mistake. We did, and we got the ace and the win in this match, which we turned around. Very nice reversal. Both against the guy and against their team. Let's see what we got for special rewards. We've got Final Blow, Survivor, Last Man Standing, and Terror of the Sky. 65,000 Silver Lions and a whooping 20,000 research points. Absolutely fantastic, these new rewards. I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now the Spitfire Mk Ia is an absolute joy to fly. Gorgeous looking plane, just machine guns, old fashioned. But it's a joy to fly this plane, absolutely. She's a beauty, and is also very competitive in dogfighting. You do have the carburetor knocking out now and then because of an inverted engine. This can happen where you just pull the plane up enough, high enough that the engine goes to the other side. It considers that as an inverted engine, but also as you roll the plane around, it also inverts the engine, and it knocks your engine out. And like I said, it does recover quickly, but it does lose you some energy because the engine gotta restart a little bit. So you lose a few kilometers, and like I said, if it happens enough, you will lose 20, 30, 40 kilometers an hour in energy, and then in the end the opponent, you know, cashes in on that. But if you're sharp and you do not do it too much in critical situations, then this plane is a beast and can net you some very, very good results in the early British 3. As you saw, those research points were nothing to be laughed at. Absolutely fantastic, and that will probably unlock 1 or 2 planes at that level. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.